if you were the mayor, what kind of a scenario would the Buffalo Bills be looking at if you were the mayor and saying, I got news for you guys. We would love for you to stay here. But if you think that the taxpayers are footing the bill for billionaires to build your new shiny object of a stadium, that's not going to happen. We're going to make it so that, you want to say that a portion of the tax burden falls upon the city of Buffalo. Okay, but the billionaire class finds a way to basically pay for nothing. And as far as I'm concerned, somebody who's not bought and paid for by the Chamber of Commerce is not going to play ball the way that those people want you to. And so that in itself is a prime example of what Mayor Brown was willing to do that you are not willing to do. And that is where the real change happens, especially at the local level.
Yeah. And, my expertise doesn't come from a political science degree, right? It comes from nursing, it comes from mothering, it comes from community care. And that flies in the face of how we feel governments should be run, particularly when everything is owned by the developer class here in Buffalo. And the more capital you have access to, the more power you have. And like you said, it's the people of Buffalo who ultimately suffer. And, between 2021 and now, my email and my voicemail is still full of people who are looking for help. And they feel like somehow I'm the person that can help them solve whatever issues, May 14th happened. And then we had this horrible storm around Christmas time where 47 people passed away. And some of these tragedies are unavoidable, but the response could be different, should be different. And, a lot of this is just unnecessary in the first place. And it's just, it is sad. But I know that I have a place and a purpose here. This is my hometown. I love it here. And I know that what I do, whether in office or out, is impactful. I'm inspiring young people. I'm in the grocery store and little girls are introducing me to their moms don't know who I am, but the children do, right? Because they are paying attention and they see someone who looks like them that they can relate to. And that is what motivates me to continue to try and, just be as impactful as possible and not get discouraged. They can, listen, I'm not going to say it too loud, but unless they kill me, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. No, and you definitely know how to reach the most people at the local level, and the community aid and the local stuff is really where we can make the biggest difference. It's what we try to do. When I say that now I'm sitting in North Carolina, but when I'm at home, and it's really what we try to do. And I think that is something where the loudest voices and people like you are the real base of what then builds up and bubbles over. And it doesn't necessarily need to be political, and that's what's amazing about community help. And it doesn't matter what people's political parties are either. I'm so over all of that. I've just decided that I don't have an ism. I'm not an ist. I don't have an affiliation with anything. People say, well, are you a socialist? No, I'm not a capitalist. I'm not a socialist. I'm not an ist, right? And I think that we should maybe start, unlabeling and just being regular people. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm a human being. I am a lover of humans and humanity and animals and babies and all of the things, right? And it came up this year again, right? They're like, well, do you still consider yourself a democratic socialist? And I'm like, you consider me a democratic socialist.
Exactly.
I agree with the values, right? You used it as a dog whistle and to red bait and make people afraid, because what I wanted was to bring everyone a decent standard of living. And somehow there are people in this world who are against everyone just having a safe, healthy place to live and access to healthcare and a quality education and clean air and water. I'm like, I'm not the radical one. You who don't think that children should have 3 meals a day are the crazy people.
Right. Absolutely.
And you're also your story in particular is one that the Democratic Party would rather pretend didn't happen, specifically because you are their most, and you brought up loyalty at the beginning. There is no, in either political party, there is no more loyal voting base than Black women in the Democratic Party. And the fact that that has been a card that this party has played for now multiple generations, and they want to pretend like your story doesn't exist. You know, you're not this created in a laboratory type of candidate like a Kamala Harris is. You are a middle-class Black woman from Buffalo, New York. You are the Democratic Party if it was actually the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. And right now, what they're hoping will happen is that you'll just go away, that you'll go away and you won't make a lot of noise. You know, that's what they're hoping for. But I think the more we coalesce and build this rainbow coalition, if you will, as Reverend Jackson used to say, of working class people, this is how the change is going to happen. Because I think for the hundreds, if not thousands of people that are going to see this live stream and the clips that will follow, I want them to be reminded of how powerful your voice is and what we're fighting for here. Because the Democratic Party says that they represent you, but in reality, they fear someone like you more than anybody else because you expose their grift. And their grift is that they are not the party of working people. They are the party of Wall Street and Silicon Valley, and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi embody that more than anybody else.
Yeah. And I just want to, just remind folks, like, keep showing up, right? I think that what we are trying to build is difficult, but it requires us that even when it doesn't seem like we're making any headway, right? And I tell people locally all the time, I don't care what your event is. If you invite me, I'm coming. It can be Pookie's 5th birthday party or a block party or, commencement at a graduation, right? If you invite me, I'm coming, because the more exposure we get to people, the more conversations we're having, the more we normalize politics, right? Like people say, well, I'm not political. Well, yes, you are, right? Our very lives are political. And the reasons why we are not getting the things that we need is because we're not demanding them from the people we put in power. So, we got to keep showing up. We have to leave the nonsense aside, time out for the purity politics, meet people where they are, let folks evolve into their values and into their belief systems as they learn. And really, let's begin to develop a deep, deep, deep solidarity among working class people, no matter what religion or skin color or how you identify. Let's know that it is the us. Right? Which in the words of Uncle Bernie, it's the 99. There's way more of us than there are of them. And we cannot continue to let them win.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.